Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, we're going through my AFLW Fantasy Final Team reveal. Just over a day out from the games starting on the Friday night with Sydney and Collingwood, and just over 10 or so hours, or sort of 7 hours away from the first team reveal that comes out on 5 or 6 p.m. tonight. So this is a little bit advanced, so there might be slight changes, but it wouldn't be it shouldn't be that hectic of changes, I don't think, given that I think it may be one or two changes, but that's about it. Mainly this M4 slot and what I do there, and the F3 slot, which we'll get into in the video. But let's just jump into this video here. So I'll try not to give enough away, but firstly I just wanted to say that there still is the league open, the YouTube league here. There is, I've been tracking, I think there's 76 people now, because it does do double ups. So yeah, there's 3 or 4 double ups here, but it's 76 people in the YouTube league, which is really, really good. And there is, I will put it in the description. There will be a sort of link to that as well. But anyway, let's just jump into this side here. You'll see Thomas is to the D1. She is one that I could go down to Goddell, I think. Let me just check this. Goddell. Or have I stuffed it? Goldrick, sorry, not Goddell, Goldrick. And then that should allow me alongside moving this F3. So this is the maneuver I'll do if I don't like the team lineup for the Swans tonight, is I'll probably move Thomas down to Goldrick and then move Ham up to like a Blackburn or maybe even someone else. Just because then I can move like a Watson or a Goldrick to a Thomas in round 4, and that'll be the upgrade that I do there. Just because, I'm a little bit worried about Ham if she doesn't get the full midfield time, but if she does get the full midfield time, I'm pretty confident about that. So that is the late maneuver that I might do, depending on how many midfielders the Swans go in with. So yeah, that's that thought there. But Thomas, D1, I expect her to be the top scorer or up there with Streicher as the top scoring player through the first 4 rounds, because she has that double. So there is that sort of risk. It's more of a risk-averse option, a riskless option, as some would say. But there's also that thought of just get her in round 4 and then carry her through the rest of the season, as she'll be pretty good then. And she may drop a little bit early, and you can get like the value more so out of like Goldrick, who I expect to have an increase in points per game by like 15 points per game. Get her 15 points per game in value, and then that'll get you up to Thomas, and that'll close the gap from, was it like 350k, give or take? Yeah, 341k. That'll probably close the gap to maybe even 250, 200k, maybe even less. And then you've effectively gained like 100 to 150 to 200k in value for maybe 10, 20 points overall. And you upgrade those points in general by getting a stalwart in the midfield and Blackburn, etc., who you can get the double game week out of very early. So there's that thought there. Sheeran, I think this is just an obvious choice. She's playing midfield. She'll probably average, given what we saw out of Stannett in the midfield role last year at times, let me just double check this. A 97, I don't know if she was on ball there, 92. I think she could genuinely average a solid sort of 75 to 80, and that's +4 to +9. So yeah, just I think there's all positives here, and I think she will be the #1 scoring defender. Just because that role is so fruity for, especially in the women's game, given tackling is such a demanding sort of role, or such a overarching fantasy scoring option, compared to marks and sort of that chip about that we see in the men's. I think Sheeran will dominate there. Schleicher it's a little bit of an iffy one, but I'm feeling a little bit more confident in it just because she has the community are selecting her 41% owned, but also the fact that she does have that early double leans me to think that she will be still up there. Then you just have Watson here. I'm not 100% certain on what's her role or whatnot, but people seem to be jumping on her, as well as the fact that she did really well in the trial game or practice game. I don't know what she exactly ended up with. Let me just double check this one here. And let's just go to Watson here. She ended up with 70. I was going to say she ended up with somewhere in the 70s. So yeah, I think that's just a pretty good option there. Then you have Lutkins here, 369k. Much like Schleicher, I don't think she'll necessarily. I wasn't too confident about it, but I think I'm more confident with her having that first double game week than her not having it, and that's why I've gone for her. And then BT on the bench, I've honestly gone for her over McDonald just because I believe she's already confirmed to be playing. I don't know about McDonald. I think McDonald could be playing, but I also have scars from McDonald from last year with her like 20s and whatnot. Let me just pull this up for you to show you what happened. 53, then 20, then 20, then 10. That 53 got her to, I think, like 400k. And then that 20, 20, 10, she ended up, I think, around that 340, 330k. Might have even gotten back down to min price. So there's definitely some scars there. And I think BT is probably just in a role where she's going to get a clump of the ball. I just don't know if McDonald's going to necessarily get it as much, given that Geelong firepower in the middle of the park. And I even think Eamondson's going to get it a lot down back, more so than McDonald if she is playing down back, or if she's playing on the wing. I don't know if she'll get it as much. So, I just think that BT has a better chance of getting it. Marinoff, Rowbottom, Conti, sort of a common midfield three at the moment. If we go to midfielders and then go to points, selection-wise, you'll see Gardner is still up there. Riddell and Gardner is dropping a little bit. But I think that those are sort of the ready-made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 primo midfielders, and I've selected 3 of them. Yeah, I just really like Marinoff is pretty much a dead set. I just don't want to have the hassle of trying to bring her in and potentially trying to save salary, plus also chop what's probably going to have to be 3 rookies to get up to her, given her price tag. I just don't want to have to deal with that. And if she goes off in in one of these games, especially this Port Adelaide game, I'm looking at round 1 here. Port Adelaide don't have Phillips, Dowrick is a test. They don't have Ewings as well. So yes, they've brought in Lamb and someone else, I believe. Let me just double check who they brought in. They brought in who did they bring in? Yeah, Kirsty Lamb has been brought in. They'll have Goody. I just think that Port Adelaide midfield is a little bit weaker than it was last year. And I think Marinoff will score really well in that matchup. Rowbottom, she looks like she could go 120 this year, honestly. Her practice game, yes, it's a practice game, but that was 3/4, 129, I think it was. Let me just double check that. Rowbottom, 3/4, 122, so that's on pace for a 163. Yeah, I think she has the real big potential. I think the thing for her is, I think she's really going to increase that top end scoring, because she has that sort of 81 as a banker, whereas I think Conti really struggled. Conti sort of had a similar thing where comparatively to Marinoff is that these girls just both had really sort of a 100 sort of base score, and that was obviously they're going to have it when they average 106, but they really didn't have the top end scoring ability to consistently do that. 148, 124, 121 for Conti, that was it. Rowbottom was 121, 144, 126, 133, 121, so she was up there. But I just think that comparatively to Marinoff, who had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games above, was it 8 games above? 7 games above 120, and a lot of those above 130, comparative to Rowbottom, who had 1, 2 games above 130 and 4 above 120. I think that she just needs that top end, that big 150 type scores. If she can get 2 of those per year, then she'll be up there in the top 2 or 3 for averages. Montana Ham, this one is a little bit of an old one, I reckon, comparative to most. 4% owned. I just really think that she's going to be the one that breaks out in that midfield role. The metrics say that she should break out. If I go to Montana Ham, rookie me, I know that she's like 4 years in, but we've seen that if she can, you see here comparative to her sort of junior days, 24 touches in her Western Jets there, and then you see that she played her first season, I think, as still completing her studies. Then she did her in 2023. I'm pretty sure she was coming back from injury as well and played more forward. So I just think that she's one that could easily push up. We've seen in the carnivals, see this in 2022, Vic Metro in 3 games, 23, 5 and 5, 24, 3 and 5. But for the AFL, she's averaging 10, 3 and 3. I just think that she can push that up towards, even if she just pushes it towards 24 and 4, that'll be, I would suspect, 50 plus another 28, that'll be 78. That'll still be quite some value there. That'll be over 30 points of value in that position there, which would be all right. But I genuinely think that she's one that could push up towards that high number. And it is very much a risk. But I genuinely think she's one that could very much break out. We've seen it here with a 17-7-3 game against the Western Bulldogs. And against Collingwood only 6, but I just think she's one that could break out, and it's probably going to be my risk, and it could force a restructure of potentially Vesio down to a rookie, etc., like I was saying, or even Thomas down or something like that, or Schleicher down, probably one of the worst ones out of these two, or even Hoare potentially down. But it will probably force a restructure if I do get it wrong with her, or potentially even one of these, or the rookies here have to go down to another rookie, etc. But I'll find a way. But I really just think that she's one that could break out this year. Goody and Window are the two obvious choices. I think Goody is the obvious on-field rookie. And then Window, I don't know if she's named to play yet. There will be a video coming out on Friday after we get teams revealed, etc., and the debuts, etc. And that'll be, you'll see all the debut videos that I'll go through and do a video on all of the rookies that are debuting. But yeah, Goody is the obvious one. Window is one that put up pretty good numbers in the, where is it here? Where's the Port Adelaide game? Let me just check. Let me just put Goody in here and then she'll come up. Goody went 110. And then Window went 46, but I'm pretty sure she was pulled early and she had a potential injury. But yeah, she's one, as well as Wenlands as well, one that really got that midfield role. So you can just see that midfield role is really up for grabs in Port's side. So I've probably gone really strong there. Then you get to the rucks, and I think this ruck one debate is pretty much changing very, very quickly. With Moffat still a test for round 1, but we'll find that out tonight, especially if she's out. Then that will change this dramatically. I think you'll see Alice Edmonds go up to 30% owned if she is out for round 1, because Moffat is, she's a test, and I don't know if she'll necessarily produce her best if she is still a test for round 1, even if she does play. And then Pearce is the obvious one if she gets that main role, but if she gets a subsequent role, then I'll probably just go to, honestly, I'd look at the fixtures and try and find the Sunday regular game, to put on the, to put the loop through on, as, I think that'll be kind of crucial, and it'll probably involve, let me just check, is there any, what about the 300Kers? Let's look at that. There are a couple of 300Kers. It might involve a cleaver or something like that. I'd have to look at potentially if there's, I'd look at this tomorrow, but if there's any, or tonight, if there's any season-ending injury people out, then I'd go there. But you basically have a decision between, if we go price rather than that, you got a decision between Vukic, who I think might even play, the Fremantle Ruckman, Jax, Cleaver, Fiedler, Lyons, Murphy, O'Dowd's probably going to play, and Murphy could even play, I would think, for GWS. So you got a decision between about 4 or 5 rucks. So there's that decision if Pearce isn't in that number 1 role. If she does have a sidekick there as well, I would probably stay clear of that. Then you get to the forwards. Too Good is basically just slot her in the team and just wait and see. Because she'll just be the top scorer. I don't think Hoare's going to outscore her, to be honest with you. And I think Hoare's pretty much going to just be that secondary person in that forward line for scoring. If we go to total points, if we go to average points here, you'll see there's sort of a gap here. Too Good's got 25 points on Houghton, who's F3 and from last year, and Hall's got 8 points on her. But I think those two will just clear the crowd pretty comfortably. I don't know if Houghton and Brennan and Ty can necessarily back it up. I know that they're all sort of that key forward type of mold of they relied heavily on goal scoring. And I just don't know if the likes of Ty will be, if Freo will be that good this year. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 goals for her last year. Brennan kicked, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 14 for her. And Houghton kicked 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 12, 16 for Houghton. So, I just don't know if those will back it up. So I think there could be a gap with Too Good and Hall from the actual, like a lot of these sort of rookies and a lot of these value picks. And I think that'll be a gap of potentially 30 to 40 points per game. Then you've got Vesio. I think this one, I sort of got put into this one just because I think that there's no real good sort of mid-pricer here. And I think Vesio, with her role on the wing, could easily put up sort of that 60 to 65 and just slot in there. 60 to 65, she averaged 46, so that's plus 19. So that would put her in and around the area for the top 6. And I just wanted someone that I could also maneuver. She just sort of is an easy sort of maneuvering to someone like even she can go down to a bench option and create sort of 250k from and Dersma slots on field, and that 250k is pretty crucial to restructuring the side if all hell breaks out. That was sort of the reasoning behind that. Tripodi here, I think she could get a midfield role. If we go back to here, Tripodi, I don't know if she necessarily stood out. 66 in the north side, so if she gets named on ball, that'll be huge. But this forward line is honestly just select some rookies and hope, honestly, because I don't think that a lot of the... I don't rate the fantasy prospects of a lot of the key forwards. And also, I think these rookies can close that gap very, very quickly. Pauga, I think that she just gets that midfield role or a decent enough role at GWS, and that'll be better than sitting on the bench at Brisbane, as you can see here. And even if she just gets plays enough game time here, even if it's just into the 80s, then she'll most likely get a plus 15 points. And then a decent enough role, I could see her improving by 30, 35 points here quite easily. And that'll get her up to 63 range, which is around about that top of the line enough. Which won't, as in, it'll be enough that it won't be doing enough damage early on especially. And you'll be able to upgrade to Brennan or Houghton, or I think Ty has the late double game week. So you can upgrade from Pauga to Ty or whatever in that. But I think GWS have the last game week as well, double. But you can upgrade these Tripodi or the Vesio or Dersma in those sort of game weeks there after their double to the later double game week. I keep on saying bye, but it's double game week girls in the forward line, etc. And then you've got Dersma F6. She's just there making cash because she's got the other wing role to Vesio, I believe, or halfback or whatever. She'll get enough. 27, I think she's more valuable than that, and she has a 4 and an 8 in there, and a 14. So you take those out, that is 26 points. Take out 26 points, she gets to a 163 from 4 games. That's an average of 40, basically 41. And an average of 41, even if she does 41, that's 14 points of already upside. Plus, also, I think she's just going to be in a better role. And I think that could, much like Pauga, that could produce potentially another 10 points of upside, 15 points of upside. So I think she's potentially someone that just goes 55 to 60, which is still 30 points of upside. And on the bench, 30 points of upside is a lot considering that she's 350k, and so I just think that that's a lot of upside there. That's like potentially 250, 300k of value, and that'll be huge come later in the season when we try and upgrade these slots here, especially. We got D4, D5, M4, M5, and then probably a couple of sort of F4, F5 probably need to be upgraded across the whole season. So you sort of have 6 or 7 upgrades there that you've got to get done. But that is the side. And then Breed on the bench there. I think she just had a really good trial game, and I don't really know much until we get teams out, but I think she'll get a good role at Hawthorn, and we'll see. There's potential for Wetland to jump in there, but I don't know if I really want to go 3 port mids, because generally if you go a lot of the same role, someone is down, destined to fail. So I probably will take a chance on Breed in that Hawthorn midfield, I think it is, because she looked genuinely good, but I don't know whether that was just Sydney resting heaps of people, meaning that she just didn't... she just got a lot of points that probably won't be there, etc. But anyway, that is the video there. I've somehow stretched it to 20 minutes. If you did enjoy that video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on, especially when we start doing game recaps and all that for the women's fantasy season that is just starting in, as I said at the start of the video, just over a day's time. And we'll get into those recaps, etc. They probably will take a different form like we did last year with the women's, just because I don't know if any of the other sites will be doing it. So it may just be off the AFL site in general, and I will use my phone a little bit to get the quarter-by-quarter stats, because that can be crucial, just to show if someone just had a big quarter, etc. But anyway, if you enjoy, remember to do all that, and then I will see you guys in the tipping video later. Bye, guys.